Hi, my name is Karina Akidal. I'm the managing editor of Canadian Auto Dealer, and I'm here today with Guljeet Nagpaul that's going to talk to us about why digital transformation is so important for Canadian dealers now more than ever. So on to you.
Hi, Karina. Thanks for having me. Nice to meet you.
So it's great to have you, and I understand you're sort of an expert in this field, and maybe you can explain to us why Canadian dealers need to really embrace the digital transformation. I mean, they already are to an extent, so maybe you can explain to us to what extent they really need to embrace it.
Sure. As we all experience, we are living in quite a bizarre time, right? Now more than before, I think most businesses are already either in the process or really looking forward to kind of implementing digital transformation, and for all the right reasons, right? Traditionally, digital transformation obviously has always been looked at from from how technology has been changing our lives, how multiple channels have kind of come into play in the past many years in terms of technology usage and modernization, as well as kind of AI and robotics coming into play and so on. But I think now, more than all of those traditional reasons, we got to, as a community, keep going on, right? As much as remote work can happen, that would support us, as people, as our workforce, as well as kind of keep the businesses going, right? So I think this is all the more right reasons to embrace digital transformation. And it's gonna these things, when they happen historically, we've seen, right? The situation we are in, as well as it has happened a few times in past, maybe a few centuries, is when these turning points happen, changes that happen to our society, as our businesses, they tend to stick, right? So I think it's all for all the right reasons. And Canadian auto dealers specifically can kind of also align with this change to kind of keep their workforce going. Things like mobile car maintenance, which some car manufacturers have already enabled, and it has seen success in the industry, can immediately kind of help the businesses to kind of keep going, as well as help support the people out there in terms of what their needs are from the Canadian auto dealers, right? Things like moving sales to as much online, as well as these kind of video conferencing processes. There are a lot of things which can be done, and we from Axel Q have been kind of in the middle of supporting a lot of these digital transformations from the biggest healthcare companies in the world, as well as the communications connectivity in this age is even more important, right? And so on. So we've kind of seen these transformations, maybe in the retail side, the moving of all the grocery deliveries to be online, and how consumers are consuming. So it is happening across the industry, and it's just a matter of kind of aligning your processes. The technology is out there to support it.
Now, one of the questions I have here is that COVID-19 is happening now. We don't know how much longer it's going to kind of impact Canadians and Canadian workers and businesses, but is it too late for dealers to sort of start implementing all of these things that you mentioned, or do they still have time?
No, absolutely not. I think this is from the initial shock of where we are. Things have started to kind of look up, right? And as a community, that's kind of what we need to really build on, right? And same holds true for the businesses, right? We kind of need to take this opportunity now that we've kind of somewhat stabilized our lives around the new normal, and that's we all know that's going to stay for a little bit longer, right? For the betterment of kind of all of us, right? So I don't think it's too late. Like I said, the technology is out there to support this transformation, right? A lot of industries are going through it, which we could have never imagined a few weeks back, right? If you look at healthcare industry, which has the most regulated and red tape kind of industry, here in North America, right, has gone through huge transformation with all these processes which would have never been approved 6 months back, from online visits to doctors to what have you, right? Everything is changing. So I think this is in fact the right time to move, and businesses that those are able to move will be able to support their workforce, their people will still be able to work. They don't have to go through as much as a tough time, along with what's happening with COVID-19, right? The livelihoods can still work. So there is a better and bigger cause to make this happen now, and I don't think it's too late. I think it's the right time to make a move.
So what, I guess my last question would be, what specifically should dealers begin with? I mean, they're bombarded with so much information and on top of the crisis that's happening now. So what can they begin with to take steps to do this?
Right. And we've seen a few car manufacturers move a little faster than others. So this is the time to work even with your car manufacturers to kind of make that push and make these changes happen, right? We've seen examples of them, which other auto dealers and car manufacturers can kind of learn from, right? Things like changing the car servicing to through app-based scheduling, and through mobile workshops which can kind of go on site and fix and repair cars, do oil changes, and all the regular work. There is a ton of people who still need to kind of commute, and the regular kind of maintenance needs are still going to be ongoing. It's really how fast certain dealers and certain car manufacturers start supporting it, right? As well as the new car sales. I mean, they can kind of change means to move more online with digital video based sales representatives, providing that human touch, so to say, and still kind of mobilize things to what the needs of the markets are, and so on, right? And we've seen certain car manufacturers also already do it with success. So there is a model that can be followed and kind of leveraged.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview. And we wish you good health and safety to you and your family.